Hi, welcome back. It is time for us to begin video 2. In this video we will talk about how we work within Boskalis. Our safety culture. The rules and requirements everyone is expected to follow while working on LNG Canada, and with Boskalis. Let us begin. In this lesson, pay close attention to our two main programs that define how we function. The first is our way of work, also called WOW. The second is our no injuries, no accidents philosophy, better known as NINA. Both of these programs must work together, and are essential to achieve a safe and productive workplace. Once you learn our way of work, you will understand why integrating safety into everything we do is so important. So how are we going to achieve this success? Well, to start, knowledge is a key ingredient for our success, and sharing our knowledge with each other is crucial. We must follow our NINA and WOW programs closely, engaging our leaders and workers, and ensuring safe and productive execution of our work activities. We must actively plan our work, always looking ahead, thinking about what we need to achieve, and how to do it safely. Communicating these safe work plans out with everyone involved, or affected. And then coordinate our work activities with each of our work teams. By working closely with each other, we strive to develop strong, safe, and effective work teams, and at the same time, we look to build lasting friendships with our colleagues. Amazing things will always happen when we all talk, listen, and work together towards the same goals. Let us briefly discuss our way of work. The Boskalis way of working is based on our company values and our WOW principles. Within WOW, the group delivery plan defines the common process approach for all stages of a contract, from tender and award, to field execution, throughout Boskalis globally. Boskalis business units are easily able to work together, and successfully on multidisciplinary projects around the globe using our WOW processes. These WOW processes enable us to make the difference for our clients by giving them our unique combination of expertise and versatile equipment, and the right people to ensure the work activities are executed in a safe and productive manner. The WOW processes provide our operating units and work sites with a modern, yet simplified approach to work execution. It has also enabled us to have more consistency in our performance, by using concise working practices, that are integrated, and uniformed, using a centralized approach. The Boskalis way of working provides leaders, managers, supervision, and workers good insight into our working practices without the program being over complex or confusing. You cannot learn it in a few days, but that is why teamwork and collaboration is so important. With consistent application of WOW, it enables us to continuously strengthen the way we work together, focusing more effectively on executing projects in a safe, professional, and efficient manner.
Dat optimaliseren. Nou, jullie zijn al een aantal vorige keer ook bezig geweest met het optimaliseren van bedrijfsprocessen. Maar nu krijgen we ook de Boskalis way of working. Wat is dat? Hoe vallen wij in de Boskalis way of working?
Wat we ermee willen zeggen is dat met het samenvoegen van al die bedrijven is er ook wel een stukje complexiteit ontstaan. Worden we ook geconfronteerd met de situatie dat er bijvoorbeeld verschillende kwaliteitssystemen nog altijd zijn binnen de verschillende onderdelen. Dat er ook op andere manieren gewerkt wordt. Ja. En ja, er zijn accentverschillen tussen de offshore omgeving en de rechttoe aan baggeromgeving. En dat mag ook best tot uitdrukking komen in je manier van werken. Maar er bestond heel nadrukkelijk behoefte aan meer eenduidigheid. Één manier van werken. Op waar we ook in het bedrijf zitten, op dezelfde manier wordt een project of een contract afgewerkt. Dat is één. En een tweede element wat daarmee speelt, is dat in deze markt, waarin we zeggen je moet goed gefocust zijn op de business, willen we ook het proces zo simpel mogelijk houden. En laten we ook de mensen die de projecten runnen niet onnodig belasten met allerlei bureaucratie die we vanuit het hoofdkantoor er allemaal op willen leggen. Maar laten we ze juist helpen om er ook naar de klant toe zo soepel mogelijk doorheen te gaan.
Helder, efficiënter, simpeler, duidelijker.
Yes.
Take a few moments to read the following. It will give you a good overview of our way of work approach. The following is how our way of work functions. Initiate the contract. Plan the work. Execute the plan in a safe and productive manner. And complete the work to our client's satisfaction. From this you can see that our way of work is strongly focused on planning, communicating, and coordinating our work as a team. We use the knowledge and experience of colleagues. Learn from our past projects, and strive to continuously improve. Now that you have some understanding of our way of work, let's move on to NINA. No injuries, no accidents. You are going to hear about NINA often, and see it integrated into everything we do. From start of each day, to the end of the project and beyond. Let's make NINA a way of life, both on the job, and at home. What is NINA, and where did it begin? After a lengthy development process, NINA became our overall safety philosophy. It provides Boskalis with a clear vision for a workplace that is free of all occupational injuries, illnesses and environmental impacts or releases. It is behavioral-based, and a value-driven guideline of what we expect from all of our employees. It sets one safety standard with focus on risk-based procedures to manage various operational situations with rules that are supportive to our values. With our clear standards, it explains what safe behaviors we expect from our people. With NINA, safety is about everybody's responsibility, and commitment in creating a safe working environment. It's about warning colleagues that may be in danger, regardless of their rank or position. And it's about receiving feedback on our own behavior. Safety is also about intervening, and taking action when a potentially unsafe situation arises. Our NINA journey is an ongoing effort to achieve overall improvement in our safety performance. NINA is a culture change, and like knowledge, it too is one of the key ingredients for our success. One core aspect of our NINA program is Safe Mind. It asks us, what effect does our brains have on how we work safely? Let's watch the next video to understand more about NINA.
NINA, the overall safety philosophy of Boskalis. With a clear vision on safety, being value-driven and risk-based. By taking the values and rules to heart, we are more conscious of our safe behavior. But what about our subconscious behavior and mind? Why do we do the things we sometimes do? That is because we 1. Run on automatic mode. 2. Work on routine. 3. Constantly make perception errors. 4. Act on impulse. Just to show you what is meant, here is a situation with a bowling ball. This was all about perceptions and about people making assumptions. Okay, knowing this, how does it work? Well, you could compare it with an iceberg. The tip on the iceberg is formed by our consciousness. 15% of our brain allows us to talk, think, and analyze. Our subconscious mind lies beneath the surface and is responsible for our routines, reflexes, and our perceptions. These are based on our experiences from the past and account for approximately 85% of the things we do. You want proof? just a few examples to test your perceptions yourself. Okay, test number 1. Please watch this picture carefully. What do you think was written here? It's quite possible that you did not notice the second instance of the word "the." Our brain leaves out what it doesn't need, and thus we perceive situations. Please don't worry. This applies to the most of us. Not convinced yet? Okay, one more. How many triangles do you see? Please count them. Probably you counted 4, 8 or more triangles. Sorry to say, but there are 0 triangles. You immediately started counting because of the suggestive question. Assumptions and perceptions are quickly made. We often look more with our brains than with our eyes, and hence we see triangles which in fact are not there. Okay, please stop this presentation for a moment and let's discuss whether you recognize routine work and automatic pilot in your daily work. I'll be back in a minute. Hi, I'm back. Hopefully you came up with a few nice examples. Having experienced some samples of routine work, we can ask ourselves, how come our mind is so easily tricked? You have seen the comparison between the iceberg and our brain before. 15% we do consciously. That seems a lot, but this goes relatively slow. Here, we can do one thing at a time, while our subconscious part allows us to do even 7 things at once, and is thus pretty fast. These tasks we taught ourselves to do on autopilot. Very handy when driving a car, operating an excavator, or playing a computer game. Of course, it's fantastic that we can do all those things at once, but the question is, how does this relate to safety? That's because our subconscious mind always wants to take over. But also we act before we think, and our mind makes assumptions and therefore we overlook things. Now, while facing these dilemmas safety-wise, how can we challenge our brain? That is, to switch from our automatic mode to our conscious mind. How? By the ever-old saying, think before you act. Of course you knew that, but how to stack the odds in your favor? By taking the values and rules to heart. And, in particular, the part of my role according to Nina as an employee. Always check the safety of yourself, equipment and surroundings, or YES. Applying the YES scan each time before you start with the job at hand and after each break is one option to challenge your brain to get out of the automatic mode. How do you apply a YES scan? By first checking yourself, checking your equipment, and checking your surroundings. Stop your routine and apply the YES scan before you start and after each break. Safe mind.
Nina incorporates both safety values and rules. Take a few moments to read each of our values, and consider how these will affect our daily work life, and how these can apply in our home life. Now for our Nina rules. Take a few moments to read each of the rules. Each of our rules must be incorporated into how we work, and keep each other safe. Nina rules complement our way of work, and set clear expectations for everyone working for or with Boskalis. If you have been placed in a leadership position, such as a manager, supervisor, vessel or barge master, there are additional expectations placed on you. Our Nina program, and the senior Boskalis management expect our leaders to demonstrate strong safety leadership. This should be done by creating an atmosphere and conditions within the organization where employees are encouraged to work safely, and to address safety issues. Mentoring and coaching our people to success. Taking the time to use a positive approach whenever possible. Ensure everyone working for or with Boskalis is complying with our values and rules, within all work areas we control. Most people can understand that visible and demonstrated leadership promotes the desired results which keep our people engaged and safe. As an employee working for or with Boskalis, you may ask yourself, what is my responsibilities for NENA? There are 4 main areas we expect of all employees. First, check the safety of yourself, your equipment, and your surroundings. Then, ensure that you are informed about risks and control measures for the job and work environment. Next, inform your supervisor of hazardous situations, and finally, always follow the values and rules. It is pretty simple. We don't need to make our work so complex that we forget to think about how to safely get the job done. As an employee working on a vessel, or barge, onshore, operating tools and equipment, take the time to stop, think, and ask questions. Your safety matters, and doing the right things, in the right way is important to keep our teammates safe, healthy, and productive. It's time for the next video. This may be familiar to some of you who have worked in Canada for a while. For others, it will be new. For everyone, you should be able to relate to it. This video was originally produced during a large Canadian project that was having problems with complacency, and people not following the rules. Although it is entertaining, it has a clear message for all of us, and what we all need to do. Let's watch and see what this is all about.
Throughout history, every marvel of engineering and construction venture has been made possible by the contributions of those who make it happen. The workers. It is the deliberate actions and decisions of the people involved that will dramatically shape this landscape of wood, rock, and steel. Most of these individuals share common ambitions, and as such, wish to avoid any potential dangers that would keep them from achieving these goals. In a perfect world, there exists a harmony among the workforce, each responsible for each other's safety, each ensuring that they all return home to the arms of their loving families to enjoy all the fruits of their labor. There is, however, a particular type of worker whose existence has baffled scientists for centuries. The unsafe risk taker, often referred to as the USRT. For centuries, the scourge has always seemed to find its way onto work sites, endangering the lives of others and exhibiting a complete disregard for following proper safety procedures, and perhaps most alarmingly, indirectly inspiring others to do the same. The USRT are at first glance similar in appearance to every other worker, but it is their behaviors and actions that make them unmistakably different. Some attribute their existence to the indifference of other workers, whose lack of intervention has unwittingly allowed them to flourish amongst us. The unsafe risk taker is easily distracted, and this lack of focus can yield destructive results. One must always strive to keep one's mind on the task at hand. Even the slightest moment of carelessness, even accidental, can prove fatal. Whether due to laziness or a desire to impress their superiors, USRTs often take shortcuts or attempt to rush through their tasks. They fail to understand that the right way to do something and the safe way never fail to be one and the same. An old hand knows that speed will come with experience, but must never be at the expense of safety. But even old dogs can find it difficult to shake old habits. Tools and techniques are ever evolving. It is the unsafe risk takers that choose to remain in the past. Perhaps worst of all is the arrogance of thinking the rules are not meant for them, that injury can only happen to someone else. Complacency is a dangerous trap. Any risk is something to be taken seriously. What you may get away with today will most certainly catch up with you tomorrow. Injury or worse will result in a significant loss of income for the affected party. and those dependent on them for sustenance would fall victim by way of collateral damage caused by the USRT's actions. Like the hyenas circling the wounded buffalo, the USRT will see even the slightest lapse in safety regulations as an opportunity to selfishly break the rules. Remarkably, some workers see this behavior and attempt to short-sightedly follow the poor examples set by the USRT. One might remark that after all, unsafe see, unsafe do. Unless these unsafe risk-takers are eliminated, they will spread like wildfire, slowly making the workplace hazardous for others and causing the eventual breakdown of projects everywhere. Fortunately, there are ways to stop the infestation from taking hold. Workers must make it a key priority to watch out for others on the job site. Recognizing unsafe behavior in others is the first line of defense against the unsafe risk-taker. USRTs must be made examples of. This is the workforce's best chance to strike fear into the heart of any USRTs lurking in the shadows. Safe workers must remain constantly vigilant. Risk-taking must become a thing of the past. Only by actively intervening against all or any unsafe behavior can one hope to reveal the unsafe risk-takers for the very virus they are.
To recap, our NINA program is a culture change which enables and supports our supervision and workforce to do the right things. NINA provides the guidance and mindset to work safely so that we all go home safe and sound to our family and friends. Additional NINA training for the project may include NINA work box sessions. These valuable lessons were developed from our corporate vision and WOW program. Industry best practices and our operating procedures, and lessons learnt from incidents and near-miss occurrences. You will be given the opportunity to participate in some of these during the project.
We are halfway done. Into the home stretch for this video. It is time to go through some of the more formal aspects of the project and working with Boskalis. When working in the province of British Columbia, there are strict legislative responsibilities and requirements for employers, supervisors, and workers. Let's review these. The LNGC project marine scope is situated in both in Canadian navigable waters, and on shore. Depending on the work's activity, our scope of work can fall under Canadian federal or British Columbia provincial regulations. Activities may be controlled and monitored by, but not limited to, Transport Canada, WorkSafe BC Ministry of Environment, BC LNG Canada project-specific requirements. If you are not familiar with the requirements or your legal responsibilities, ask. The LNGC and Boskalis project team is here to support the success of our operations. It is important to understand that there are some differences when working in Canada, and in the province of British Columbia. First, do not assume work methods and processes used in other provinces or countries or apply. With stringent requirements to protect people and the environment, don't take chances or guess what is required. Our work activities are controlled much differently here than many other parts of the world. Consult with your safety team representative, supervisor, or manager, to get the right answers which will ensure our success. Let's talk general responsibilities and expectations. Follow along with me. Health and safety is everyone's responsibility, and is a shared responsibility. You should intervene if you see an unsafe behavior or condition, and it is safe to do so. We must acknowledge good behavior. Don't just focus on negatives. We must all participate in the hazard identification process. We all should coach and mentor others. Remember, we all started somewhere. Communicate effectively, and verify the person understood. Report all incidents, illnesses to ensure you receive treatment. No matter how minor you may think it is. Near misses must be reported. This is important as nothing changes unless people know. Report hazardous conditions to your supervisor if you can't fix it safely yourself. Practice continuous improvement. While working for or with Boskalis, Every manager and supervisor, including subcontractors, must ensure the health and safety of all workers working for that employer, and any others worker present at a workplace at which that employer's work is being carried out. They must ensure that workers engaged in the work are made aware of hazards and their responsibilities and duties, and must remedy any workplace conditions that are hazardous to the health or safety of the workers. Managers and supervisors play a key role with very specific health and safety responsibilities that need to be understood. A supervisor is a person who instructs, directs, and controls workers in the performance of their duties. A supervisor can be any worker, management or staff, who meets this definition, whether or not he or she has the supervisor title. If someone in the workplace has a supervisor's responsibilities, that person is responsible for worker health and safety. This includes ensuring the health and safety of all workers under your direct supervision, knowing the applicable legislation, environmental permits and project requirements that apply to the work under your supervision, and make sure those requirements are met. Ensure workers under your supervision are aware of all known, or reasonable foreseeable health and safety hazards. Ensure all workers under your supervision have the appropriate equipment, tools, and personal protective equipment, which is being used and ensuring properly, and that these are regularly inspected, and maintained. On the project, managers and supervisors must also ensure policies, plans, and procedures are implemented, communicated, and complied with. Facilitate our safety and environment processes, such as hazard assessment, or new worker. Praise good performance, encourage improvement, and identify opportunities for improvement. Engage in the hazard assessment process with their crew members and management. Ensure workers are fit for duty and assess crew competencies. Report all incidents to management and the safety department immediately. Don't wait to report, and finally, support the new worker program. Ensuring specific competency assessments of crew members are completed. As a worker, you too have rights and responsibilities. On a work site, everyone has varying levels of responsibility for workplace health and safety. You should know and understand your responsibilities, and those of others. If you're a worker, you also have been given 3 key rights under the legislation of British Columbia. The right to know about hazards in the workplace. The right to participate in health and safety activities in the workplace, and the right to refuse unsafe work without getting punished or fired. As a worker, you do play an important role in making sure you, and your fellow workers, stay healthy and safe on the job. As a worker, you are responsible to must be alert to hazards, and report them immediately to your supervisor. Follow the safe work procedures and act safely in the workplace at all times. Do not take shortcuts. Use the protective clothing, devices, and the equipment provided. Be sure to wear them properly. Cooperate with joint occupational health and safety committees. Worker health and safety representatives. Work safe BC prevention officers, and anybody with health and safety duties. You must obtain treatment quickly should an injury happen on the job, and tell the health care provider that the injury is work-related, and follow the treatment advice of health care providers. You must participate in the return to work safely after an injury by modifying your duties. You must never work under the influence of alcohol, drugs or any other substance, or if you're overly tired, you must report all near misses, wildlife sightings, or incidents resulting in harm or loss to people, the environment, or assets. It does seem like a lot, but most of us do these every day. We all need to work as a team to complete our work safely, productively, and without incident occurring. Just by following your responsibilities, many workplace incidents and near-miss occurrences can be avoided. Next up, rules and requirements. Pay close attention to these. Our project has 3 golden rules which set the framework for the behaviors expected while working on the project. Comply, respect, and intervene. On the LNGC project, we all must adhere to the 12 life-saving rules. These cover the most critical safety hazards that have caused injuries and loss of life in many past activities. Additional information and training will be conducted routinely. Take the time to review posters and information bulletins on these important rules. Violations of any life-saving rule will be investigated. Take a few moments to review these in general. Additional training will be provided during toolbox talks and pre-start meetings. Drugs and alcohol. The possession, consumption, or distribution of alcohol, controlled substances, non-prescribed medications, and other mind-body altering substances including the associated drug paraphernalia, is strictly prohibited on the project, including on board vessels. Workplace impairment, caused by the use of drugs or alcohol, commonly refers to an altered state of physical and mental functioning. In a workplace context, someone who is impaired may have difficulty completing tasks in a safe manner, and may put themselves, their coworkers and the public in danger. This is not acceptable on any of our project work sites. Keep in mind, that although cannabis is legal for recreational use within Canada, the company, and project still maintain a zero-tolerance policy which includes, but is not limited to the consumption, use, or possession of cannabis and associated paraphernalia. Any person observed not being fit for duty may be subject to reasonable cause testing. Fit for duty means that person is in an uninjured physical, mental, and emotional state, which has not been impaired, or influenced by alcohol or mind and mood-altering drug, thus enabling the person to perform his or her work assignment. All of us need to arrive for work mentally prepared, in a good emotional state, physically capable and uninjured. If a person is found to be in violation of either the LNGC project or Boskalis drug and alcohol program, they may lose both site access and camp privileges indefinitely. Smoking, including the use of vaporizers and e-cigarettes, is not permitted in any of the following areas on the project. All office accommodations. All internal spaces of a vessel or dredge. This includes the bridges, offices, control rooms, mess rooms, cabins and internal recreation areas, docks. All Boskalis-owned, hired, or subcontracted vehicles. Smoking is only permitted in the designated and properly prepared smoking areas. All persons working on the Boskalis marine dredging scope of work must comply with these requirements. If at any time a golden rule, life-saving rule, or a violation of a prohibited action occurs, management will conduct an investigation. Based on the outcomes of the investigation, progressive disciplinary action may be applied based on the nature and severity of the violation. Any blatant disregard for life-saving rules, critical processes, policies or procedures, may result in severe disciplinary action including site access restrictions. Bullying and harassment. We are committed to providing a respectful workplace and free of harassment, violence, and bullying. Unacceptable social behavior shall not be tolerated by anyone. All reported incidents and complaints will be investigated, with integrity and confidentiality. This is a zero-tolerance workplace for any confirmed reports of unacceptable behaviors. Well done! You have finished video 2. We will talk again during lesson 3.